Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras here with ILTV's morning briefing.
4 police officers were injured Wednesday in a stabbing attack at a police station in Jerusalem's Armon HaNatziv neighborhood. Police reported that the attacker arrived to the entrance of the station and attacked 3 officers nearby, lightly injuring them. The attacker was then shot and arrested. He's currently suffering from serious wounds. But during the commotion, a 4th officer was also hurt in the crossfire. After the attack, the suspect was detained and security in the area was heightened. Police spokesperson Mickey Rosenfeld explained officers were scanning the area to ensure that no other people were involved in the attack, especially as this is not the first such attack in Armon HaNatziv, which is a supposed no-man's land between East and West Jerusalem. The area has been the scene of multiple attacks in the past years, including a wave of stabbings in 2015 and 2016 during the so-called stabbing intifada, and then back in January 2017, a Palestinian driver rammed his truck into a group of soldiers visiting the area, killing 4. Defense Minister Avigdor Lieberman officially tendered his resignation this morning after announcing his intense disagreements with the current ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. The decision to calm tensions came after 25 hours of intense back and forths with the Gaza Strip, in which nearly 500 rockets fell on Israeli communities, killing 1 civilian and injuring at least 50 others. Israeli jets in turn targeted at least 150 military and Hamas structures in Gaza, but Lieberman called the ceasefire a capitulation to terrorism and explained that he couldn't go along with the decision and still be able to look southern Israelis in the eye. So Lieberman is scheduled now to hold his last defense ministry meeting later today, before his position officially expires within 48 hours. Likewise, he'll also be taking his Israel Beitenu party with him out of the coalition, leaving Netanyahu's government with a shaky 61 to 59 seat majority. Now, as expected, reactions to Lieberman's announcement within Israel have been mixed. Though in the Palestinian Authority and within Gaza, the resignation is widely seen as a victory, especially as it comes just a day after Hamas called for Lieberman to be fired anyway. Still, the major question that now remains is who will replace Lieberman. Many coalition leaders have been clamoring for the position, which is largely considered to be a stepping stone to the Prime Minister's office, though the frontrunner thus far appears to be Education Minister and Jewish Home Party Chairman Naftali Bennett, who has a long history both in upper echelons of the Israeli military as well as politics. And now, with the coalition's majority in crisis, he's given Netanyahu a deadline: either give him the defense ministership or face early elections. Time will tell what Netanyahu decides. In related news, rocket alert apps save lives in Israel, especially in high-risk areas, but a new report shows that aside from offering necessary warnings for some, they apparently simultaneously spread anxiety. The Red Alert app, for example, provides real-time notifications when missiles or rockets are fired into Israel, and this has become an invaluable tool that both saves lives and allows Israelis nationwide to show solidarity with the residents who are under attack. But for those who live in the high-risk areas already, many claim the app is a source of their anxiety, sometimes more so than the rockets. Earlier this week, as Hamas and other terror groups fired hundreds of rockets into southern Israeli cities and towns, a reporter asked on Facebook if the Red Alert app made users anxious, and Israelis were quick to agree that it did. One commenter, Izzy Berkson, wrote, quote, "I had to turn it off. It was stressing me out a lot more than it should have," end quote. And many more users also said that it was nerve-wracking. Still, despite their anxiety-causing side effects, most still see such apps as more necessary than not. Israeli resident from Beit Shemesh, Chana Shields Rosenfelder, said, quote, "I use it so that each time there's a siren anywhere, I can pray for the people there to have strength and be safe," end quote. And Daniel Tal-Or, who lives in the settlement of Efrat, said that his wife is hearing impaired and that there was problems with sirens not reaching everyone in town. So he said, quote, "In situations like this, it's very important that you have backup." The Jerusalem runoff elections are now finally complete, and Moshe Leon from the United Torah Judaism's Degel faction has been chosen as the new mayor-elect in the Holy City. Leon won the vote with a slim 2% majority over opponent Ofer Berkovich after internal strife between competing Haredi parties led many to vote against Leon out of spite. Conflict between the UTJ parties' Degel and Agudah factions has been brewing for a long time now, with the two arguing over representation within the Knesset. Because of supposed population differences, seats in the Knesset have been split 60-40 favoring Agudah, but Degel has argued that their numbers are at least that of Agudah's, eventually leading negotiations between the two to a vote. The result was that Degel indeed won 6 seats to Agudah's 3 in municipal elections. That's why many of Agudah's supporters with UTJ shifted alliances, leaving Leon in the end with just a 5,000 to 6,000 vote margin of victory. The vote was so close, in fact, that Belkovich's team even challenged the final count, though it seems that challenge has been put to rest. As for the Palestinians living in Jerusalem, they largely boycotted the vote despite making up to nearly a third of the population. Still, despite previous differences and religious leanings, the Haredi Lion has already vowed to represent all of Jerusalem as best as he can. Now, we just have to wait to see if he puts his money where his mouth is.
That's all for now. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.